Hi, my name is Belgica and I am an actress, and I work between LA and San Francisco, and I wanted to talk about international casting. So I've been getting a lot of comments recently of, do you know if I can audition if I live in Europe, if I live just in another country? Can I audition for jobs in California? And the short answer is no, but I want to give you some perspective, okay? I want to help you just think about how you could make it possible, and then what you can do if maybe you can't come to California, to LA, or to the US, maybe Atlanta, because I do a lot of filming all over the US and there's a few different hubs. I just want to quickly talk about how you could eventually do it and why you really can't do it practically. So first, let's just quickly go over what the process would look like. Okay, so if you are auditioning for something that's going to be filmed in California or in the United States and you are from a different country, then right now, because of COVID, there's a lot of travel restrictions and there's a lot of restrictions for production companies in general. So that is the biggest thing right now. Being able to travel to the country that you're going to be filming in is the biggest thing. And then after that, well, you would have to send in a self-tape audition because, of course, well, first you would have to send in a self-tape audition, right? Because you're not gonna fly all the way to a different country in order to audition, not even know if you're going to be able to get it. Maybe you're one of like 500 and you might not even be the right person for the role and not get cast. So the first thing would be filming a self-tape audition. I have lots of videos on self-tape auditions that you can go check out. And then after that, let's just say they cast you. Let's say, oh my gosh, you're amazing. We can't find anybody like you. We have to cast you, which, you guys, that's pretty rare. It would have to be a very, very specific thing because odds are that they will be able to find somebody that can fit that role. So, but let's just hypothetical, right? Let's just say that they really did want to cast you. So then your next step would be to get a work permit, a worker's visa, in order to travel to a different country. Depending on the country that you're from and the country that you're traveling to, the rules and regulations are going to be very different and very costly. Please research your own country that you're in order to know an estimate of what the price would be. I know, for example, in Mexico, if you want to get a visa to travel, it does tend to be very, very costly, and compared to the amount of money that, like my family, it's really hard for my family that lives in Mexico that doesn't make a lot of money to be able to travel to the United States, because just getting your visa is way more expensive than the actual airplane ticket. And then after that, if you are invited from a big production here in the United States to come and act in that specific production, odds are it's going to be a SAG-AFTRA production, meaning that you have to be in that actors union in order to join it. So now you have to join the actors union and pay the fees in order to join. Right now it's about $3,000 in order to join that. So your traveling fees might be paid by the production, maybe, and then you're gonna have to get your own workers visa, permission to work in the United States if that's the country that you're going to, and then paying to join the union. So those are the costs so far. Hopefully, if the production is big enough, they're also going to pay for your stay here and in order for you to get around, right? So that's only for a big production, you guys. That's only if a big production offers you that. If you want to be an extra in something, there's no way that they're going to pay for anything except for you being on set and very, very minimum wage. And then once you have all of that and you're here in the United States filming, right after, you are likely to have to go back as soon as possible because they are spending money every second that you are here. So it's most likely going to be a real quick thing, unless you decide that you want to stay here, in which you would have to get some kind of student visa or have your worker's visa in order to allow you to stay in this country or become a citizen or a resident, which is very, very hard. Depending again on what country you're from. But for example, I came to the United States when I was 4 years old, and it took me 14 years to become a resident, and then another, I think 6 or 7 years after that to become a citizen. And a big part of it was money, because it is really expensive. So there's that. I know that's a lot. In general, I don't know if I have just been blind to it because it's not something that I need or really search for, but it is something I'm going to be looking out for you guys. But international casting isn't really something that I know much about. I know that usually when somebody is casting a commercial, they will do the casting maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if it's that long of a casting process is needed, and then they'll shoot Monday and Tuesday. So if you were in another country and had to do all of that and then come over here, that's super unrealistic. They're not going to pay for you to travel for commercials because commercials are a lot more flexible and they can use, you know, different types of people. It might be more viable for them to just like send a production company to you or hire a local production company than where you are than to bring you to the United States. So long story short, I feel like I'm going so long, is that it is very unlikely. So what if you really, really do want to become an actor though? What are your goals for acting? Do you want it as a career? Do you want to do acting specifically in the United States? Is there any acting in your country that maybe you can do? Are there theaters in your city? Are there some kind of film, TV, any kind of opportunities that you can take advantage of in your country? Maybe it's the city next to you or the state next to you or wherever, maybe closer than the United States. What opportunities can you find locally? Do your research, because again, I live in the United States, so I don't know very much about other countries, and it would be really hard for me to even investigate what kind of, you know, productions there are, let's say in Mexico, because I don't experience them. So I don't know which ones are scams. I don't know which ones are good opportunities because I'm not going to experience them and I'm not going to know how to share that with you. Although I would love to be in a Mexican soap opera. That would be really cool. But anyways, my point that I'm trying to get to is for you to please do your own research, look around you, see if there's any actors around you, maybe do your own work. Is there a YouTuber around you? You can become a YouTuber. You can create your own work from any country. Create your own work if there's no work around you. Maybe you're really bad at writing or really bad at directing people. Get some friends, get other people that are really good at that, and you can be the actor. Now, if you do want to come to the United States, there's definitely other ways that are going to be costly or are just going to require a lot of dedication. I know a lot of people who came to the United States to go to college through some kind of scholarship. So do some research and see if there's any kind of scholarship that will support you going into the arts in another country. When I was studying theater in college, I did have a couple of friends who came from, one of them came from China and one of them came from Italy. And I know at least one of them was on a scholarship, and you know, they just worked really, really hard to study abroad and to see what it's like. So if maybe you want to go to college somewhere in LA, research some scholarships, research some colleges and see which ones are really, really great. So at least you can come and get a taste of it. After you graduate though, you are going to have a job in order to be able to stay in the country legally. And again, I haven't experienced this myself. I just know little tidbits of it because I had some friends that went through it. But you can come and study abroad if you are somebody who wants to pursue a career in acting and can come and study over here for maybe a semester or two, or you want to spend all of your college years here in the United States. That's definitely another way that you can do it. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I am trying to give you the full big perspective, and the number one thing you need to do is to learn how to act. If you don't have any acting experience and you have natural talent, that's great, but you still need to study acting. No matter how amazing you are at something, you can be better. And I really encourage you to seek feedback from your acting instructors, from your drama teachers in high school, if that's what you're doing, or maybe even another friend that's an actor. Ask them for feedback for your monologues. Ask them for advice on, you know, does this seem natural? Can I perform this monologue in front of you? And can you tell me if it seems natural? Are you touched by it? Whatever, like seek feedback within the people that you know as well if you don't have a teacher that can give you feedback. And that's the number one thing, get better at acting. And at the end of every video, I feature another channel. This is today's feature. If you would like to be featured on my next video, make sure you're subscribed, like this video, and leave me a comment.